So hi, Brian Meek, here today to talk to you about employment law after hours. And we'd like to know what your motivation was for starting this. Why did you decide to launch this series?
It kind of comes out of COVID. You know, when everyone's at home, there's not a whole lot going on. At the same time, we had so much new employment news that was coming out, and we were trying to get out to our clients as soon as possible. Hey, this is changing by the day. I'm like, there's gotta be a really efficient way to do this. But at the same point, like, let's make it fun since I'm sitting at home doing nothing. So that's why I started thinking, well, everyone's really into YouTube right now. Started doing some research, and I'm like, I think YouTube would be a great platform to get out employment law news and employment law topics that all of our clients need to know. Essentially, what are the employment law issues that are keeping our clients up at night? And how can we address those and get it to them as quickly and efficiently as possible?
So I have to say, Brian, who's a partner here in our labor and employment group at BMD, was already writing and was already producing content. And so when Brian decided, hey, I'd like to try this podcast or video series, I couldn't have been more excited. How much time did you put into researching what it would take to actually launch something like this?
It took us about 3 months from the inception of the idea until the point where, you know, my colleague Monica Andrus and I really sat down and started filming. And during that 3 months, we really spent a lot of time researching, you know, the equipment that we would need. You know, there's significant equipment around us right now, as well as, okay, how do we play the game of YouTube? How do we break into the algorithms? And how do I understand as much about YouTube as I can? And then along those same lines, I don't think people understand how much time and effort goes into creating logos, creating, you know, drafting the wording that will eventually go on the YouTube page, how to draft the content, as well as, if you watch some of our early episodes, how to act. From inception to the point where we hit the first record button, it was probably about 3 months.
And what surprised you about the process? And what was the feedback from your colleagues at a firm where, you know, they're writing traditional content? And this was sort of a modern marketing move that we made. What was the feedback that you've had?
The feedback that we received from our colleagues was obviously very good. You know, this is the first time BMD has really undertaken such a multimedia effort like this, you know, with YouTube and video. The first video that came out, I mean, it instantly jumped the views went through the roof, and I assume it was a lot of our employees probably. But, you know, everyone, you know, loved those videos. They started recognizing us as essentially the YouTube stars around the office. Right. I know a lot of our attorneys do pass the videos on to their clients, like, hey, if you have, you know, 5 minutes today, check out this issue. It may pertain to you as a large employer. Or hey, this is an issue that's gonna be coming down the road in the next couple months. Check this out because you need to start planning for it now. So I do know that a lot of the attorneys here do utilize the platform and utilize our episodes, and we really appreciate everyone for that.
How has this process and this project changed your approach to marketing in general?
This approach really, you know, changed the way we think about quickly and effectively getting content out to our clients. You know, one of the things as a millennial attorney I recognized, you know, most of my target contacts and clients are also millennials or even younger now into the Gen Z, you know, into the late 20-year-old HR representatives. So how are they consuming content? How are they consuming marketing? And anytime they go to Google something, YouTube videos pop up. Articles aren't necessarily the forefront of millennial and Gen Z marketing anymore, and they want those quick, effective videos. YouTube was kind of that platform that would allow us to effectively get that message out to them in a way that they're already consuming content.
I think you and I have talked about this as well. We have younger attorneys here who have come to me and said, what do you think about TikTok? So that's the next, right? The next generation's version of getting content out to clients.
And if I was creative enough, we would have a TikTok side as well. It may be next, it may be next.
So if somebody wanted to embark on a project like this, an initiative, and they haven't done it before in their firm, what lessons or tips would you share with them on starting a video blog, a podcast, a video series?
Sure. One of the hardest things I still find today is coming up with new content, you know, every week or every 2 weeks to film. And yeah, is there a world of HR issues out there? Absolutely. But what do people want to watch? So come up with those 10 to 12 videos that you think people would want to watch, and then start planning everything out. And then go film those first 5 to 10 episodes before you actually advertise the channel. And the reason is you're going to get this big jump in the beginning like we saw, but there's only one video for people to watch. So they're not sticking around to watch all these other videos. So if you get those 5 to 10 uploaded and done, then as soon as you start advertising the channel, they're going to have a good source of a good amount of content that they can watch and relate to.
What was the ramp up time before you started to see some engagement and interaction with the client base?
It was 3 or 4 months before we started having clients who were calling us and saying, hey, I saw your video, I have the same problem or I have the same issue, can you help walk me through it? So there is a little bit of that ramp up time of getting clients to the point where they understand they can go to YouTube. And we got to the point now where we're also getting kind of random people from that aren't our existing clients who are seeing our videos and calling. We get them all the time now. They just call my office line here and they're like, hey, I have this question, I have this issue, can you help me? And then we sit down and we talk about it, we work through it.
What is your favorite video that you've taped so far?
I remember the day Employment Law After Hours went viral. and we'd posted a COVID episode about the Supreme Court's decision. Within like 10 minutes, it had 1,000 views. I'm like, well, that's never happened
I remember
before.
that day. That was awesome.
It was crazy. So within like 3 hours, next thing I know, it's 5 p.m. I'm going home, but within that 3 hours, it shot up to like 20,000 views. And I'm like, what is happening? So I stopped on the way home, I got a bottle of champagne, and I'm like, I gotta celebrate this. Exactly. But by the end of the day, I think it had 40,000 views. Our subscribers shot up. We were starting to have this big outreach to a broad base of people, and that was so exciting to see.
Well, bravo to you, Brian, because I know that your videos have helped BMD get the word out to clients about timely issues as soon as they turn, right? So I know within 8 to 12 hours, you were churning out a new video about the latest topics. And thank you for that, for keeping us at the forefront. And obviously your hard work has paid off. We're excited to see what you do next.
Well, thank you. And I really appreciate the support of obviously BMD, as well as Jennifer Shankleton and her team and Amanda Wesh and everyone who really just kind of supported us getting this off the ground. So I really appreciate that.
Happy to work together. Thanks, Brian, for your time today.
You as well. Thank you.